up, everyone? I'm back. I took a little break, but I'm back. I've been away for a few weeks. There's been a lot going on, but I figured I would jump back in with this makeup tutorial. And I'm using a bunch of new products. There have been a lot of new releases lately that I personally am loving. Not everything, but most of it is new products. So I'm gonna share those with you and tell you what I like about them. Anyway, I hope you guys like this look. Here's how I created it. So the first product I'm going in with is not actually that new, but it's new to my makeup routine. This is the Erborian Glow Cream. I figured because I'm using a matte finish foundation, I'd start with like a glowing base. I feel like my under eyes are a little more dark and hollow than usual. It has been a rough few weeks. Not rough like bad, just really busy. If you follow me on Instagram, you know that I threw a baby shower at my house this past weekend. It ended up being really fun and everything turned out really cute. There's a lot of pictures on my blog if you guys want to check it out, but it was a lot. So moving on to the foundation. I am very excited about this product because I've always been a fan of CoverFX. They've always made great products. Just their ingredients I think have always been good. And they've always done a good job of catering to olive skin tones, olive complexions. So this is the new Power Play foundation. It has a matte finish, but what's unique about this is that it's like uber lightweight, like very, very, like usually matte foundations tend to be more of a, just like a heavy feel in general, but this is so lightweight. It's like air light, but it gives a very comfortable, I think they're calling it like modern matte finish. So I'm not really sure which color I should use. Being outside in the yard for that shower, my shoulders definitely got some color. So far, I've heard pretty good reviews from everyone else about this foundation. And you know me, I'm like a normal dry skin type. And usually, you know, anything matte just makes me look extra dry and crispy. It's like not cute on me. But this, because it's so lightweight, and again, because it is matte foundation, I prefer to apply it with a beauty blender because it'll just give me more of that skin-like finish. I would say the coverage on this is a pretty solid medium. So just look at that color. Like I said, they just really know how to nail an olive color. I don't know why everyone else has so much trouble with that. And if you look at the range, they sent me this big PR package of all the colors. So they also did a good job with the shade range. So if you're on the dry side, like me, just be sure that you're moisturizing enough before you put this on. Lately, I've been using the Sea Rush cream by Ole Henriksen, and it's just like an instant transformation in my skin. It sinks right in and just makes my skin nice and supple, so any makeup I put on top of it, my skin never looks or feels dry. But this just, it feels like my skin. It doesn't feel like there's makeup on it. They did a really good job with this foundation. So moving on to concealer, if you have watched my channel from like 5-6 years ago, you know that I used to use the EX1 foundation. The only reason I don't use it now is because I think it isn't actually sold in the US, or I just don't know where it's sold, so I stopped using it, but I loved their foundations because it was really great for olive skin. But recently I got their concealer. This is the Delete Fluide concealer. It's a full cover concealer, which is rare for me to use, but it passed my weight test. It feels very light for a full coverage foundation concealer. So I'm just gonna dispense some on the back of my hand. They did a really good job with this. This is like, it covers everything, but it does not feel full coverage. And it actually dries to a good matte finish, so I hardly ever use like a setting powder for this. I think I could probably go even one shade lighter with this, but just the finish, it's so perfect. Usually full coverage concealers are just so heavy and greasy even sometimes, but this just, again, dries to a perfect finish. Trying to think what else has been going on lately that's been keeping me busy. Oh, I surprised my mom with a car. I got her a car. She's been driving a pretty old car for a while now, and like she like never complains about anything. She's just the best. So I figured I would surprise her with a car. I also vlogged that, so I'll show you guys how that turned out. She was so happy. This is definitely going to be my base routine for a while because it, like I said, turns out so perfectly. And I'm not like a, you know me, I'm not like a really full coverage, like perfectly polished face routine kind of person. But when it looks this good, why not? So another new product is the No Filter Concealer by Colourpop. I wanted to be able to use both of these concealers. So this one I'm actually going to use to contour. The color that I'm using is the Deep Dark 52. And this a little bit goes a long way, so you don't need to use a lot. Definitely use too much on my nose. So again, just with the round side of the Beauty Blender, just gonna go in and beat that till it's blended. So this blends really nicely. It's always a challenge with using concealers or anything cream to contour because a lot of times they're just harder to blend. One thing I'm gonna do is, I've been doing this with my makeup a lot lately, and if you recall from my older videos, I used to do this a lot with the Betty Volumizer from The Balm. This is from Persona Cosmetics, and this is one of the new highlighters. This is the color Del Mar, it's the deepest shade. So I use it as sort of an all-over bronze veil. So if you have a deeper complexion, you could actually use this as just a highlighter, but for me, I just take it has to be a fluffy brush. You can't do it with a dense brush. Otherwise, you're gonna get streaks. It has to be really fluffy. So I just dip into that and then just start all over. Like I said, just like a veil of that gorgeous bronze goodness. Why don't we just do it everywhere? If bronze is your goal, like this is the best trick. I love this. But also, when you put it everywhere, obviously it's gonna go on the high points of your cheekbones anyway, and you're still gonna get that highlight look. It's just gonna be much more subtle because this is closer to my complexion than like a light highlighter. So I just love how that looks. I just wanna put this everywhere. I'm sad you guys can't see my top. I wear this really cute sunflower top and it has like an open back. Wanted to wear it for the video, but the frame cuts it off. So moving on to the eyes. For the eyes, I'm just using cream colors. These are new from Dose of Colors. It's the Cream Matte Eye Colors. So I'm gonna use these and a liquid liner pen from Stila that's new. But for the base, because these are cream and I wanna make them really easy to blend out, I wanna start by putting the concealer on my lids first. So I'm just gonna do it with my hand. Also, I changed my hair because I didn't like how it looked. And you could tell when I'm due for a Brazilian blowout touch-up when my baby hairs are like weird and misshapen. Actually, I think I might stop or at least ease up on the Brazilian blowout for a while because I've noticed that my hair just looks so thin lately, like flat. Doesn't have the same volume that it used to, so I'm kind of sad about it. So I think I'm gonna ease up on the Brazilian blowout for a while. So you see that just created like a really nice, even, smooth surface. So the first color I'm gonna start with is called Extra Baggage. This is a pretty deep brown. And what's cool about this is you can use this as a liner or like an all over color, but it has sort of like a whipped texture to it. You know, usually cream colors are just like a very dense cream. This feels a little bit more airy and light. So I'm gonna take this brush here. This is the Smith number 247. And I'm gonna pick up some of this and start at my, what do you call this? The lash line. Deposit most of the color there and then start blending upward. So don't take too much because you don't want to get too much color and not be able to have that nice fade. So really just until the crease. I'm forgetting all the parts. And then again, taking a little bit more. And then on the other side, starting at the lash line. Deposit all the color there. Gets a little bit more difficult at the inner corner. And then start blending upward. Just past the crease. I have, people always say like, oh, you have such nice lid space to work with. It may seem that way, but I have actually really difficult lids to work with when it comes to shadow because they're not hooded, but they are deep set. So, you know, there's a certain amount of lid that kind of folds over when my eyes are open. So it tends to create like a little bit of a line even when I try to blend as much as I can. So if you have like more monolid lids, I kind of wish I had that. I feel like shadows just look so much better and are easier to apply. You just want to make sure you look at both eyes and make sure the colors are even. I definitely need to add a little more on this side. And what you can do actually is not poke yourself in the eye like I just did. If, let's say, you get up here and you're like, ooh, that doesn't look very blended, just go back to the concealer, put a little bit on the back of your hand, same way, you can dip into it and just come up here and start blending it together. That's a good trick if your blend game isn't too strong right now. So I think I want to add a little bit of this by Colourpop. I've been using this just on its own, just I'll put it on and then a little bit of mascara lately, and I just think it would look really pretty on top of this, so I'm just going to add a little bit with my finger, just right there to the center, and then start blending out. It's just such a pretty, subtle sparkle. Why is this mirror so far away? Every time I do tutorials, the mirror is like 3 feet away from me. Right, there we go. Yeah, like I said, just really subtle. It's actually really pretty. And it goes well with this cream eyeshadow color. We're doing a wing. We haven't done a wing in a while, so we're gonna do it. I actually really like this pen. I've used it a couple of times. This is the Stay All Day waterproof liquid liner from Stila. I don't know if this is necessarily a new product from them, but I just got it from them, so I think it might be new. In any case, I really like it. So I'm gonna start the inner corner, just keep it pretty thin until I get to about the halfway point. And then from there I can fan it out a little bit. So I'm just creating the shape on the actual lash line first, and then I'll create the wing. All right, I'm pretty happy with that shape. So now I'm just gonna extend this. Sorry, I can't talk while I'm doing this. It's very delicate work. So I really wanted this to be just a medium wing, not too big, not too small. To some of you, this is probably still pretty small, but to me, this is like a good substantial wing. So again, just really thin at the beginning. And as we get further along, you can thicken it up a little bit. Whoops, forgot to put my phone on silent. Now the challenge is creating an even wing to match the other side. So now I'm going to go back to extra baggage, and I'm going to take a smaller brush. I'm going to dip into that and just very lightly hit that bottom lash line. This just definitely makes it a little bit more interesting, even though it's, again, just the same color. So for the mascara, I'm going to use, this isn't new, but it is a favorite. It's the Velvet Noir by Marc Jacobs. I'm just going to hit the top and bottom lashes. And another not new but favorite, this is the Maybelline Brow Precise Fiber Volumizer in Soft Brown. This is the only thing I use really for my brows. There have been a lot of new brow launches lately, and I've tried them, but this just seems to be better than pretty much anything else I've tried, so I'll stick to my tried and true. Finally, for the lips, I'm using just a sheer hydrating gloss. This is by Clinique, and the color is called Fizz Pop. It's such a pretty color. It's basically my lip color, but a gloss. And it's just very comfortable. It's not sticky. It feels more like a balm. I just really love how this turned out. It's still true to my neutral color scheme that I love, but it is just a little more dramatic, but it's still good for daytime. I'm about to head out to lunch in a little bit, and I'm just gonna keep this on. Finally I do a tutorial and don't just wash it off after. I actually get to go out into the world and be seen. I hope you guys enjoyed this look. Let me know what you think of it, and as always, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in my next video.